Hey girls, I want to tell you about this guy. And you know, I'm ready to stand up and testify. And what I'm telling you, it ain't no jive, but I just seen the greatest man alive. Big boy, oh big boy, I said big boy.
Hello and welcome to Globetrotting with Gillespie. Yes, it's me, Dana Gillespie, on the sofa at the TAM, which means the Temple of Art and Music. If you hear extraneous noises, it's because it's raining and sometimes you hear it very loudly, but we are in London. I know Globetrotting should be going further afield, but, you know, it's kind of stuck. The one good thing about Globetrotting is that I can get to ask lovely mates of mine that I adore and really rate their music, and this is exactly who I've got with me today. I'd like you to meet Big Joe Louis. Yay!
Hello.
Yes, cheers and roars of applause. Now, I always call him Big Boy. We won't go into why, but he's a tall guy. But I would like to know your roots. Tell us it, Big Boy, where you started, how you started.
In music or just, you know, as a little baby boy?
No, I think in music. Well, you can, whatever.
Well, I'm from Jamaica. I came to England when I was, you know, pretty 12, something like that, and didn't really appreciate the music here when I arrived because it was all the rock, you know, Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple and that kind of stuff, and it wasn't anything like I'd grown up with.
You'd grown up with what, reggae?
Reggae and some soul.
Yeah.
You know, that was the thing. You know, we didn't know the Beatles or the Rolling Stones and that kind of stuff.
So who did you listen to over there? People like the Mighty Sparrow, or, you know, any
Yeah,
of
well, that
these?
was more calypso, but
Well,
people like Toots and the Maytals and
Yeah.
Ernie Smith, and the Toasters, people like Roy and Burning Spear.
You know what, though, if I really want you to turn me on, I say, oh, talk to me in West Indian, because you can do it perfectly. You don't have to, but I know you can.
Well, you know, when I came here, it was difficult to fit in, so that was one of the first things I lost.
But you can do it, I know, because you've done it to me.
Well,
But anyway.
it's the way I used to speak.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, for a while I was really still into soul music, and I used to go to soul clubs, and then I discovered gospel and blues, really, and that's what kind of took over from then on.
And how long have you been recording for? Because you were for a while on, like me, on Ace Records.
Yeah, all my records have been on Ace Records eventually.
Yeah, we love Ace.
We love Ace.
Yeah.
I guess I made my first record in 88, 87, 88.
And do you write your own stuff, or you
Yeah.
do some traditionals?
I do some cover songs of other people's.
Yeah.
But I like to write my own songs, things that mean things to me, yeah.
And when you go out on the road, are you with others, or are you a solo man?
I can't remember.
It's so long ago.
No, both.
Yeah.
Both. You know, I like to travel with my trio, but I also I have some really great friends who back me up in places like Finland and States and Australia. Wherever. But I also travel solo.
And of course, you've joined the Mad Festival in Mustique a couple of times.
Three times, yeah.
Oh, was it three?
Yeah, we went three.
Of course, every year I was made a CD of that, so it's every time I hear a Mustique Blues Festival and I hear you singing, because I love your voice. Most blues musicians don't have that rawness that you do. I mean, you're kind of pretty scratchy and down home, which is not, it's meant as a compliment, actually.
No, I know what you mean.
Who was it that once you got here, who was it that turned you on to blues, to get you away from the Toots and the Maytals kind of music?
Well, I never got away from that.
Yeah.
But the thing that got me into blues was Skip James and the Howlin' Wolf. I had 2 records by them, and they just really moved me. It was so exciting. And then people like Lightning Hopkins and Jimmy Rogers and Walter Davis, Roosevelt Sykes, the piano players and people like that. But then the thing that really got me deep into it was getting in touch with a record deal, a friend of ours.
Ted Carroll?
No, the famous Sailor Vernon.
Oh, Paul Vernon, yes. Well, Ted Carroll, of course, was head of Ace, but
Yeah.
Sailor Vernon.
Sailor Vernon.
People don't know about Sailor's Delight was the best
Yeah.
magazine you could get on
Yeah.
blues.
Well, it was really a way of buying records, and I was
Yeah.
like 22, 23, and writing to him to buy gospel 78s and blues 78s, and he would educate me. He gave me such a great exposure to artists I'd never heard of. And, these were all pre-internet days, and so he'd say, well, do you know Babyface Leroy? I'd go, no. So he'd play Ernest Lewis or Boyd Gilmore, all these fairly, more obscure artists than just Freddie King.
Well, his knowledge was amazing, and I
Still
saw copies of Sailor's Delight when I was in Vienna around 1980, and I was thinking, holy mackerel, who is doing a magazine called Sailor's Delight that is so full of fun and info that I rang him up, didn't know him from Adam. We started a friendship, over the telephone,
yeah.
because he was famous that he didn't have any legs. I mean, he had legs, but he never left his office because he was permanently sending these records to
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And he used to put kind of naughty pictures of me in his magazine and call me Dynaflow. That was my nickname. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
I forgot that Paul Sailor Vernon was our connection, of course.
Yeah, one of, yeah, absolutely.
What do you think of this place, by the way? It's pretty outrageous.
It's just wonderful. I like crazy places that are a bit more interesting than just your average bar. And this definitely is one.
This is, I know. Well, so I was hoping that you play us something. Would you mind?
No.
Unless there's any more info you want to share with me about anything, your views on life.
Well, that would take a while.
Okay, what
That
you
would
had
take
for
a-
breakfast?
Nothing. But let me just say that
Tell me.
I'm really happy to be starting work again. Doing shows and in May, like all of us. And
I
so-
know, it's kind of a weird thing. We're so used to doing gigs, that it's part of breathing. And
Yeah.
dare I ask what you've been doing in lockdown? Not a lot?
Playing records, cooking, eating, sitting in a hammock when the weather was nice.
Have you got a hammock?
Yeah, I've got a hammock. Yeah.
Well,
Come and lay in my hammock.
I'd love to know. It sounds like a song, Come and Lay in My Hammock.
Charlie Patton.
Oh, has he done it already?
He did it, yeah. I'm going to buy me a hammock, put it up in my backyard.
So what are you going to play us?
I'm going to sing a song that I made up, and I have some trouble with my eyes. It's just a true story about how things go. Oh, excuse me, my friend, I didn't mean to pass you by. I didn't mean to keep walking far away, look in my eye. But I'm just trying to keep my feet on the ground. But it feels like the sun is going down. Oh, look what I've done. I knocked over your beer, and I'm trying to be careful, but it's so dark in here. And I'm just trying to keep my feet on the ground. But it feels like the sun is going down. And sometimes when I'm singing my song, I might play a note that sounds a little wrong. But let me tell you a secret, just between me and you. Sometimes this guitar thing gets a little hard to do, and there are places that I can't go and things I can't do. Maybe you can see me, maybe I can't see you, but I'm just trying to keep my feet on the ground. But it feels like the sun is going down. Yes, it seems like the sun is going down. Yes, I know that the sun I know the sun is going down.
Yay! Thank you, big boy.
Thank you.
It's so good to have what I call the real down-home blues, because, you know, like me, a lot of bands say, oh, they're a blues band, and in fact, they just go out and do rock, and they ruin the name of blues. I like the original stuff, and that's what you do.
Well, I do, yeah. Everyone's doing their best, you know.
That's nice of you to say that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is Big Joe Louis, and it's been great that he's come here because, you know, I sometimes get to sing with him as well if I'm really lucky.
We do.
We do the odd gig together, which also with Dino Baptiste on piano, sort of bit of a wacky trio, but hey ho, it's a lot of fun. And so join us next week on the sofa at the TAM in the Temple of Art and Music for some more interesting music. Thank you, big boy.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh, we like to... Yeah!
Just give me one more night. Just give me one more night till I get my sailor's delight.